Live from Nipso Production Studios in the heart of America, it's Saturday Night Review, a podcast dedicated to the television show Saturday Night Live. With your hosts, Joseph and Denis. And here's Denis.
Oh, stop it. Knock it off, you canned computer crowd. It doesn't exist.
But you still make us feel good.
You do. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the 19th episode of your Saturday Night Review. He is Joseph.
And his CB handle is Denis.
Yes, it is. 10-4 good, buddy. And this is a YouTube podcast devoted to one of our favorite shows of all time, Saturday Night Live. We love that show, don't we, Joseph?
Yes, we do.
Very much so. And Joseph is going to tell us how this show is run in case you've never been here before. Joseph, share with us all, please.
Here's what we can expect. Only the magic that Disney can provide, Denis.
Oh, and they provide such magic sometimes.
And disappointing sound. We're going to do the rundown here. We're going to talk about Kit Harington, which is the name that Steven Spielberg gave Kit Harington, although it was in a derogatory way. And then we're going to talk about Weekend Update. We're going to talk about our 3 favorite sketches, or the 3 most tolerable sketches. And then we'll talk about next week's host, because I think next week's host is kind of a big one. I'm just saying.
And we might even talk about Update in there somewhere, right?
I did say update, did I not?
You did? Oh, yes. I don't know. I don't pay attention when you talk.
Thanks for listening, Denis.
Listen, usually we have our producer, which is Linda, and if you've been listening to the show, God bless you. But Linda is our producer, and she's usually up in the booth. But we took a little hiatus, and when we came back, we informed everybody that Linda was in rehab, and she's still in rehab. But however, I got a letter in the mail from her today. So I thought I would share that with you right here before we go to break. Real quick, Joseph, if that's okay with you. Anything else going on you want to share? Or?
Well, and I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, other than the letter that we got from Linda, which I'm happy to hear about, can we talk for a moment briefly about the increase in viewership that we've had, or listenership, whatever you want to call it?
Oh, yes.
We've had a substantial increase.
Views. The many views, yeah.
I just want to let the listeners know out there, Denis, now that we've reached, I don't know, over 100 views at least, nearly 200 views. Listeners, I am going to start trying now. It's real.
He's
I'm
actually.
I'm going to stop phoning it
your
in.
Job.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. But I'm going to give it my all now. And now that we're almost up to 300 people possibly viewing the video and then shutting it off after 5 minutes of watching, I think I'm actually going to stop phoning it in, and I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to commit to the bit, as they say.
That's awesome. I may actually start caring if this continues.
Yeah.
So we all have our goals for that. So thanks everyone who clicked on our computer, on our YouTube, just long enough to get us a view. I appreciate that. You want to hear this letter? I haven't even opened the envelope. You want me to open the envelope? Very nice envelope.
I am very excited to hear what Linda has
to my
say.
Friends at Saturday Night Review, which is very
nice
to put that. Yeah,
that's generous. Yeah.
All right, let me rip this open. All right, here's a letter. Okay, it says, "Dear Denis and Joseph, I'm still here at rehab. I hate you all for putting me here. It's so boring. If I have to hug one more counselor, I'm going to puke. Please don't look under the console. It's not for you, and it's not important. Wait, forget I said anything about under the console. Really, put it out of your minds. It's nothing. Just never mind. Go about your business and ignore anything under the console. Gotta go. Lights out. Back soon. Linda."
So, naturally, Denis, I have to ask. I mean, after hearing what you've said in that letter, I wonder what kind of therapist she has if she hates him so much.
I know. I mean, I love to hug therapists and counselors, so I don't know. I don't know what her problem is there.
I don't either, buddy.
I don't know. Very strange.
It was a bit cryptic, though, wasn't it? I
didn't
I didn't really understand what.
It's almost like she wants us to look and not look under the console, not counsel.
I didn't get that at all.
Yeah.
But no, if that's the case, then I mean, should we or shouldn't we?
Hey, you wanna take a break and sneak up to the control room and look under the console?
Only if there's a bomb in it.
All right. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about last week's host, Kit Harington. as Joe and I sneak off to the console to take a peek.
All right, so Dennis, predictions, go. It's either somebody's soul or a whole bunch of chocolate.
I haven't heard anything moving, so that's always a good sign. But then maybe it's a really bad sign, because maybe there's something under there she hasn't fed. I don't know.
What if we open it and it's actually an intervention for us?
Wait. I've I got my baseball bat here somewhere. Okay, I got my baseball bat. We're good.
Great, because I'm not dealing with any interventionists at all. I'm not having any of that.
Okay, if you're ready when I am, we can go up there. I'm gonna let you open, and I'll have the bat ready. Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, I'll open it, but I'm not going in first. Is what I'm saying. That's what.
Oh, come on, man! I'm halfway there already. Let's go.
No. I don't want to be the first guy that dies. I mean, based on looks, between the two of us, if anyone's gonna die, I mean, it's definitely gonna be you, buddy. I think.
Come on, get off the headset. Let's go.
All right.
You are watching and listening to Saturday Night Review on the Nipso Productions YouTube channel.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell. Thank you, Bruce.
Man, I cannot apologize enough. I am so sorry that I hit you with the bat across the hands. I just freaked out when you opened.
Said wait. I
know.
Wait.
I'm sorry.
Said wait. What did you not understand about wait?
You had me all freaked out, man. You were telling all kinds of stuff walking up there like what we're going to see, like a body or a devil or some cat or something. And I was like, all this stuff going in my head. And you're like taking a deep breath and like not opening it. And finally you're like, finally you opening it. And I freaked out. Okay, I just freaked out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, all it was it was mail.
Yeah, unpaid bills.
Alimony, basically. Alimony bills.
Yeah. I don't know why she even brings that into work, but
I don't either.
Whatever.
I don't either, but I still think that it was a little bit over dramatic in my opinion.
I think it was too.
Yes, hey, I felt I was sold a short sell of goods here.
Yes, yeah, I think we were. Oh, I think we're also recording. So, hey, welcome back to the second part of this wonderful program, Saturday Night Review. Hey, Joseph, if they want to send us a message like Linda, they don't have to mail it, do they?
No, they can come to my house and fight me.
Oh, that sounds exciting. What if they don't want to do that?
I hear it. I'm sorry. Or if they want, they can comment below the video, or they can email us personally at nipsoproductions@gmail.com. Then they can come to my house and they can fight me to my face.
Ooh, wow. Getting frisky. Man, gets a couple views and he gets a little frisky.
I'm sorry, man. This is kind of going to my head.
Let's talk about the host a little bit from last week. Last week, Saturday Night Live was hosted by Kit Harington, who is on a show that I have watched 0% of called Game of Thrones. Yes, I'm one of those people.
Same.
Oh, you too, huh? So
yeah, no, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. So we really can't talk much about his background. But what did you think of him as a host?
So I thought of him as a host. Okay,
you did think of him as a host. That's good.
I did think of him as a host. I have to say, to me, obviously, I think he did what he was supposed to do. I thought, here's the thing, he wasn't a bad host. I just have to say, here's what I'm going to say, and I'm going to be honest. And this might be
spit it out, man.
Yeah, this might be the Quaaludes talking here, but I felt that he was kind of, I don't know, not memorable almost. And I hate to say that, but he wasn't my favorite of the season.
Wow.
He wasn't my favorite of the season. And again, his hosting abilities weren't terrible, but there wasn't anything where I was like, oh my God, I love that he did this, and I love that he did that, and I love that. Because I don't know.
That's funny you say that. I thought he had the best monologue opening of anyone.
I know you did.
Yeah.
Because you take what I say and then you do the exact opposite.
Well, the whole opening was fantastic. Bitch, I didn't come here for sketches, which the guy told him when he was trying to find out, what happens on Game of Thrones.
Right.
And then the girl who is apparently someone on the show had said, hey, remember when we had sex? And he said, yeah. And she goes, Did you know that they filmed that? I mean, that was awesome.
See,
and then his wife begging him to grow the beard out. And how are we going to live now? You told me I'm the king. We can do whatever we want with the money. We didn't save any.
Right.
I just thought the monologue was first rate. I thought he was fine. I thought he wasn't. I didn't think he was spectacular, but I think he could be in the right circumstances. I think he has a great sense of humor.
Yeah.
He was very quick. I believed him in a lot of his skits. I don't watch Game of Thrones enough to really be that excited about him hosting, but
Maybe
I did
that's
enjoy
it.
him. But I did enjoy him.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I think you kind of said it perfectly. He was fine.
Mhm.
That's my thing. I didn't sit there and go, "Oh my God, Dennis!" Like throw this episode in the trash like you have all the other ones. This one doesn't matter. No, he was fine. And again, you always make a very astute, stupid comments, but you said that you don't know enough about Game of Thrones and to get excited about it. And I think I'm kind of in the same position.
Yeah.
So I will say that there's
Yeah.
okay, Game of Thrones. I know it's a big deal, but I'm not really into mafia type shows, if you know what I mean.
But I thought it was cute too that his mom, and I bet it's a true story. His mom said, "You do sad. You don't do this. You do sad," which I thought was a great line. It was so cute.
Yeah, that was good.
My mom said, "You don't do that. You do sad." I love the monologue. Monologue was probably my favorite monologue of the year, to be perfectly honest.
Wow.
Yeah, everything he said was just poignant. It was funny. It
I
was
like
well
how laid
done.
back he was. Like he was. I mean, he seemed really chill about it.
Oh yes.
But I mean, there's something to be said. I feel like this season more so than other seasons, we've seen a lot of. I can't believe I'm hosting Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, because we're having a lot of first timers.
We're having a lot of first timers, and so I will say this: I was kind of like, oh, okay, here's another guy who doesn't have to comment on the fact of, Mom, I did it.
Yeah,
so it was pretty chill. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't know a lot about Kit Harington, and I will admit that right out of the chute. However, we did come up with a new feature here. If you've ever played the game out there called the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, and that is you take an actor or a star, and in 6 degrees you can turn him into Kevin Bacon, like connect him to Kevin Bacon. So our new feature this evening on this show, episode 19, is going to be the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, starring Kit Harington. And now, Saturday Night Review is proud to present 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, starring last week's host, Kit Harington. All right, here's how this works. Give you an example. Since we all know that Kit was on Game of Thrones. So, phase 1, Kit Harington, Game of Thrones. Phase 2, Peter Dinklage was also Game of Thrones. Step 3, Dinklage was in a movie called Living in Oblivion with Steve Buscemi. Step 4, Dee Buscemi was in a movie Reservoir Dogs directed by Quentin Tarantino. Step 5, Tarantino also directed Inglourious Basterds starring Brad Pitt. And finally, Brad Pitt was in Sleepers with Kevin Bacon. That's how that works. See how that works?
I think I understand it. Yeah.
Why don't you give it a shot?
This sounds like a very new and innovative game, and I'm going to play along with this.
Okay, give it a shot.
Okay, so 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, starting with the first degree. Kit Harington was in Pompeii with Kiefer Sutherland.
Nice.
Second level. Kiefer Sutherland was in a little film called Young Guns with Emilio Estevez, the Mighty Ducks man himself.
Yes.
And then Emilio Estevez was in a film that he directed and starred in called The Way with his father, Martin Sheen. That's level 3. Martin Sheen was in a film directed by Martin Scorsese called The Departed. Ever heard of it?
Yep.
With Jack Nicholson. That's level 4. And then Jack Nicholson, was in a film from Rob Reiner called The Few Good Men with Sir Kevin Bacon.
Very nice.
You're welcome.
Mine's very similar. My next one. Kit Harington's in Game of Thrones. Kings sit on thrones. King Arthur was a king, a fictional king. Richard Harris played King Arthur in Camelot alongside Vanessa Redgrave. Vanessa Redgrave was in Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise was in that movie A Few Good Men with Kevin Bacon.
Wow, same movie. Nice.
Yeah, same movie. What else you
Same
got?
movie. All right. 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon in less than 6 degrees. Starting with Kit Harington being in a film, a classic or a soon-to-be classic in the next 50 years when the planet has gone to poop, called Seventh Son. Seventh Son started a woman with the name of Alicia Vikander. That's level 1. And Alicia Vikander played in a film called The Danish Girl with Eddie Redmayne. who played in a film called Les Miserables with Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman played in a film called X-Men Days of Future Past with Jennifer Lawrence, and Jennifer Lawrence played in a film called X-Men First Class with Sir Kevin Bacon.
Nice. I got another one. Kit Harington's in Game of Thrones. The show Game of Thrones has dragons in it. Kristen Wiig was in a movie called How to Train Your Dragon. She was also in a movie called Bridesmaids with Melissa McCarthy. Melissa McCarthy was in a movie called The Heat with Sandra Bullock, and Sandra Bullock was in a 2005 movie called Loverboy, which starred Kevin Bacon.
Wow,
Wasn't
really?
that fun?
That was fun. So now I'm just curious. I have to IMDb later Loverboy.
Yeah, don't. It's terrible.
Okay.
I actually made one for you, Joseph.
Really?
Yeah. Joseph is a teacher. The movie Teachers in the 80s starred Nick Nolte. Nick Nolte did a voice in the movie Over the Hedge with Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis did a movie The Siege with Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington did a movie Philadelphia with Tom Hanks. And Tom Hanks was in the movie Apollo 13 with Kevin Bacon.
Dennis, you did that for me?
I did one for me.
Oh.
Denis is left-handed. I'm left-handed. Seth Rogen is left-handed. Seth Rogen was in a movie Pineapple Express with Ed Begley Jr. Ed Begley Jr. was in a movie called She-Devil with Meryl Streep.
Love it.
Meryl Streep was in a movie The Bridges of Madison County with Clint Eastwood. And Clint Eastwood was in a movie Mystic River with Kevin Bacon. Yes! That's our 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, starring last Saturday Night Live's host, Kit Harington. What had to do with Saturday Night Live? Very little. But we had fun playing. We hope you did too. All right. Hey, let's take a break and talk about Weekend Update, shall we?
Sounds great.
All right, we're going to take a break, 6 degrees from a break, and we will come back and talk about Weekend Update right after this. Don't you go changing.
Hey, Dennis.
Yeah?
Do you think it's too soon to have the game 6 Degrees of Kevin Spacey?
Ooh. That's a good question.
Maybe in a couple years.
Yeah, it might be a little too soon.
It's a little fresh. It's still a little...
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't connect Michael Jackson with any of that, but you might be okay.
You are watching and listening to Saturday Night Review on the Nipso Productions YouTube channel.
Well, isn't that special?
And we are back from a commercial break that doesn't exist. I am Joseph, and my sidekick here is Dennis. And now we're going to get the update.
Sorry.
We're going to give you the update on the segment called Weekend Update. Dennis, I want to hear your thoughts on it, and then I'll completely disagree, but you go first.
I thought we've had a couple weeks of Weekend Update where it's just kind of been there. It's kind of okay. I thought this was a nice bounce back week for Weekend Update overall. Thought the jokes were a lot funnier. I enjoyed I enjoyed some of the guests. The critic on LSD, Terry Fink by Moffat was really good. Charles Barkley Keenan is always great. Just there was a whole lot.
Yeah.
There's just a whole lot to like here. Just a lot of stuff. The wage on War on Brunch, which I thought was a great line. I thought it was just a good show. That was a good update. I thought it was the avocados. The wage on War on Brunch was the avocado thing. I just thought the jokes were funnier. I laughed harder. It felt better. It felt after 2 weeks of kind of being there. I thought this was a highlighted show. What were your thoughts?
Well, I got to be honest with you. I don't disagree with that at all. My assessment is that I actually like Weekend Update. It wasn't my favorite, but I would say that it was more than fine, which is what I felt about the show overall. But I thought they were kind of on their game, and I did like the guests. And Alex Moffat. I don't know. What are you doing to my heart, man? What are you doing? What are you doing to other parts of my body, more or less?
Ooh, hello.
He's becoming kind of one of my favorite primetime players here, man. Yeah. It's just like, I don't know what he's coming up with good characters. He's really coming up with original characters. So I will say that I did like the Weekend Update this time. The boys are back.
Yes, I thought so too. I thought it was very good, and the guests were good. Like I said, Charles Barkley as Keenan. Or
Keenan never
starts-
disappoints, you know?
No, Keenan never disappoints. And Moffat really hit a home run with Terry Fink, I think it was, the
Yes.
critic on LSD, which was great. Star Wars. Anyway. Wow. Yeah, that was just, what was the gay, something about Gay's cousin?
Gay's cousin.
No, was it? Yeah.
For Moffat's?
Yeah, wasn't it Gay? The Gays were his cousin or something, or I don't know.
I can't remember.
Something rather hysterical that he said. It came out of his mouth because he was just jibber jabbering the whole time.
Right.
But I thought the jokes, and on top of that, I thought that the two hosts of Weekend Update, I thought that Colin and Michael did a great job. So I thought it was a really, really good Weekend Update. Nice bounce back for sure.
They can keep their jobs. You guys are doing okay.
We will allow it. We will allow it. So great job on Weekend Update for everyone involved. Do we want to now take a short break and come back with our top three?
Let's do it.
Let's do our top three. Top three favorite skits of last week's Saturday Night Live, hosted by Kit Harington. You'll hear that coming up right after this little itty bitty tiny, teeny weeny little break. We'll be right back after this message.
No, but seriously, though, these boys need to watch it or else I'm going to bring back Dennis Miller.
Oh, they're on notice.
Yeah, they're on those. Actually, wouldn't that be like a kind of a funny concept if you could just, you could replace a character, or I'm sorry, you could replace an actor or one of the stars of the show with an older, less, even like crappier version of themselves. So,
You are watching and listening to Saturday Night Review on the Nipso Productions YouTube channel.
You're gonna end up eating a steady diet of government cheese and living in a van down by the river.
Welcome back to maybe our favorite part of the Saturday Night Review. Is it your favorite part? Let us know. Drop us an email or maybe say something in the messages below. This is where we really like to get a lot of conversation started. We talk about our top three favorite skits from last week's Saturday Night Live, hosted by Kit Harington. And this is a lot of fun. We like to put out our top three. And I will be honest with you, and this is the truth, Joseph and I do not in any way, shape, or form cooperate with this. In other words, we don't get together. We don't sit here and say, what's your top three? I'm going to make my top three. When I hear it, you hear it. Joe's top three, Joseph's top three. That's my first time I hear it. And when he hears my top three, that's the first time he's hearing it. So we have our top three here that we are about to unveil to you. And I will let beauty start before age. So I will start with Joseph. Joseph, what is your top three skits from last week's Saturday Night Live?
Well, we don't corroborate because we can't stand each other.
Well, that's part of it.
The only time we interact with each other is during the 5 minutes that it takes to record this program.
Oh, there are times people say, wait, you do a podcast with Joseph? You guys hate each other. And I'm like, I know. But it's like that angry relationship that you have with somebody that you're just really pissed off at them all the time, but they have great sex. That's Joseph and I.
No, that's exactly what it is. But add the fact that you've been married for 60 years. And it's just that bickering old couple, and it's like, you walk faster, and you're like, yo, bitch.
Yeah.
That's us. So thanks for passing me the buck there.
No problem.
Top three favorite skits. Well, I have to be honest with you, man. Like I said, this one, I'll just say this: I expected the Game of Thrones-ish skits that they were going to do. I will say that Jason Momoa Six Pack. Am I right?
You love to bring him up.
Only because you love me to bring him up.
Yeah, I do.
But they did the same thing, and that's to be expected. I felt that his was a little bit better, or I don't know. They just had, on this one, they had the HBO shows or Game of Thrones HBO theme shows that they were going to do, and I was like, okay. So here are my top three.
All right.
If you can call them top three. So my third one, graphics department.
Oh, yeah.
It was essentially about the boss wanting to give one of them a promotion when they felt that all three of them should be given the promotion, and then they blackmailed him with photos of him masturbating behind or in the corner near the stairwell.
We never saw those pictures, by the way. Just saying.
And again, we need to see those pictures, Norn.
To make it funny.
Yeah, to make to make it funny.
Make it feel real. It's got to feel real to be funny, man.
Yeah, I need it to be authentic. Thank you for saying that.
No problem.
Number two, I will say this. So there's always positives in SNL for me, you know? And I'll say that the positive with this one was the number two. I felt it was a really original skit, a sketch. And I thought, you know what? I didn't like laugh uproariously for that one, but I do appreciate what they were trying to do. And that's new video game. I really appreciate what they were trying to do with new video game and the ridiculous premise of, you know, this kid or this person wanting to stock up on ammunition. And then you just have to witness the awkward exchange between these two people who don't get along. So I thought that was pretty good. And you know what? Here's what I'm going to say. And a lot of people are going to disagree with me. But again, they'll probably disagree with me about my feelings towards this particular episode. I went ahead and said the cold open, Joe Biden cold open.
Yeah.
Jason Sudeikis was back. I like Sudeikis. That's somebody that, you know, it's not Alec Baldwin. It's not somebody we've seen over and over and over. It wasn't Robert De Niro as John Mueller. It wasn't Ben Stiller. So I appreciated a little bit of fresh/old meat, if you will.
Oh, Sudeikis was fantastic. Sudeikis was fantastic as Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Wonderful to see him back. Well, a very, very, very underrated guy who was there with all those powerful women, Kristen Wiig and Tina Fey and Maya Rudolph and Dratch and Poehler. And he was part of that group, and he is severely underrated. That was really a really good group as we look back on that one. Now you had Bill Hader, that group. I mean, and Fred Armisen, who's just, in my opinion, a comedic genius on so many levels. But Sudeikis was, and still is, just, I mean, severely underrated. And as Joe Biden, he was fantastic. I agree. That's a good one. So.
And now.
That's your top three.
And now.
My top three, which is different.
Now.
And now. My top three?
Go.
Okay. My number three, it wasn't so much funny as it was just kind of poignant.
Okay.
And it was my woman. It was Kate McKinnon. And the film The Day in the Life of Theresa May, I thought it was a little poignant. It was a little funny. It was cute. It was well done. I thought it was a cute little film. I sent it to a friend of mine in England. Have not got a response other than "Who are you?" and "Why are you sending me things?" But but I just thought it was kind of cute. I just thought it was a cute little video. I'm not much into the Brexit, so to speak. You know, I don't know who Brex is and why we have to worry about him, but it was about Brexit. So, but I still thought it was cute. So that's my number three. My number two was also the new video game. Thought it was very funny. The idea that they would talk about each other in the office. If you have an office in a video game, they are going to talk about each other. And I think that that's some idea that somebody came up with that they turned into a really good video game. And I think of all the people in the world, the bounce of the video game, they've got the bounce going when they're in a video game and the characters kind of stand there waiting for you and they kind of bounce. They've got that down so well. That's really great. So I thought that was really cool. My number one, and the reason it's my number one is also kind of personal. It was a cameo by somebody that I thought it made me laugh and laugh and laugh. So really, it was like a 2-second part of this that made me laugh. But the spinoffs of the Game of Thrones had me laughing. But when they got to Ice-T in the special unit, I fell apart and immediately screamed at my TV, "Why is Ice-T not hosting Saturday Night Live?" Because every time he's on, I watch Jimmy Fallon's show every night, The Tonight Show. And every time he's on The Tonight Show, I laugh and laugh. And he is the coolest, nicest, greatest guy in the world. At least he shows himself that on Jimmy Fallon. And he comes off here and he's just perfect. I'm like, why is this guy not hosting Saturday Night Live? Because he'd be perfect. Because he has that persona of the tough guy, you know, the bad boy and all that. But he is a sweetheart. And you dearly loves his wife. They've been together forever. And he's just a great guy. So when I saw Ice-T, it kind of cinched it for me. I said, oh, come on, it's Ice-T. And then he was, of course, predictably hysterical in his part. And was that literally, I guess, also from Special Units, special unit, I guess. That is from, I'm guessing. Yeah, no, that is none other than Mariska Hargitay. She's also, I don't watch the show, but that is that's Jane Manfield's daughter. Oh, okay. In real life. So, wow. But and she is quite an elegant lady, if I can say that politely. She is now. Is she on the show with Ice-T, or is she on Game of Thrones?
No, she's on the show with Ice-T.
See, that's what I figured, because the way they acted, I thought, well, that's just perfect. That was just,
Yes.
I never watched that show again. Another show I don't
yeah.
watch, but really enjoyed that particular part of the spinoffs. And I thought the other spinoffs were rather clever. And the idea that they're going to saturate the world with the Game of Thrones.
Like Star Wars.
Yeah, well, and The Walking Dead just announced another spinoff coming out, which would be their third Walking Dead show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you talk about saturating the world, and here they are talking about Game of Thrones saturating the world. So I thought it was an excellent idea again, and I thought the shows were really funny. So give it to my number one. Honorable mention, you already talked about the cold open, which was brilliant. I don't know. The Nephew Patch I didn't think was that great.
I didn't know where they were going with that.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy the Sinatra cover band until Macaulay Culkin came out, and then I did. I did enjoy that part. The bachelorette party was okay. Thanks.
It was, yeah.
Great ending with the thanks sis. That was a nice twist.
No, that was a good zing.
That was a great zing at the end. But other than that, I mean, the rectal exam undercover boss was kind of funny, but not as good as it could have been. So overall, I kind of agree with you. The show was decent, great monologue, great weekend update, and the skits were kind of okay. So a little bit of a dip. A little bit of a dip.
A little bit of a dip. And
bit of a speed bump.
Here's the thing. It's a speed bump. And sometimes, and we'll get to this in a second, when you talk about the upcoming host,
yes.
I honestly, so I've asked this before in another show, Dennis. Sometimes I wonder if they strategically place these people in certain places because they know, oh, we've got a big one for this one, so let's go here, and then they ramp it back up, and they know where to strategically place these people, I think.
Well, and we'll talk about that coming up. Let's talk about Emma Stone is hosting next Saturday night. Saturday Night Live, which is coming up this Saturday night. Emma Stone is hosting, so let's take a break here, and we'll come back and we'll talk about what we want to expect from the fourth-time host, Emma Stone. We'll be right back right after this.
Yeah, you're going to have to lead this one. I have no idea who this girl is.
Oh, you don't, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I will lead Emma Stone anywhere she wants to go, buddy. I'll tell you.
Oh, so you think I might like?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you'll enjoy this one.
You are watching and listening to Saturday Night Review on the Nipso Productions YouTube channel.
Zutalos! Increíble!
Oh, it's the last part of our show where we talk about next week's host on Saturday Night Live. And if you're still listening to us, God bless you. Thank you so much for joining us. And hey, be part of this discussion. We don't want it to be two guys droning on and on and on about a show. We want this to be interactive. So please interact with us. Tell us we stink. Tell us we don't stink. That's fine. Tell us what you thought of the skits and what you thought of the host, what you thought of Saturday Night Live. Next week is a great week. I'm excited. Emma Stone's fourth time, and I'm not gonna lie, that girl, I look at those eyes and I forget who I am. I have got major crush on this woman. Excited to see her host. So and not only that, as a host, Joseph, she is incredibly funny and quick and willing to do anything.
Yes. So here's the thing, and again, I mean, I've seen all of the other times that she's hosted, and it's kind of a blur for me because I can honestly say in a very positive way that there's so much good material that I can think of that comes to my mind when I think of her hosting, that it all kind of blends together, and I can't necessarily think of, like Jonah Hill, who's hosted a couple times. It's like, this one was a lot better than this one. This one, it's like I can definitely remember feeling very, very excited, having known that she was going to host, and then watching her and then having my expectations be exceeded. She's just very, very good. She commits to the bit.
She really does. She's not afraid. And she talked on the 40th anniversary she did Roseanne and talked about when she was younger, she'd do Roseanne. And so there's that history there where she grew up watching the show like so many people have, and really loves the show and was thrilled to be there. All the time she's hosted, I'm sure. She's also made several cameos. I think at least a couple cameos. I know she's made a couple. Yeah, she made a couple cameos. She was on Ryan Reynolds right after Lala land blew up.
Ah, that's right.
And
yeah.
she talked about how jazz, they own jazz, so they own the world or whatever. So she's made a couple cameos, and that's good. And she's had a couple cameos on hers. So it'll be interesting to see if her old friends show up to kind of be part of the monologue. It'll be interesting to see what her monologue's about. She was in a great movie called The Favorite, which I have not seen, but I've been told I need to go see this, especially being a fan of Emma Stone. Apparently, it is something I must go see because apparently there is a certain scene in there that involves Emma Stone. But not only that, she's a great actress, and she seems to be a lot of fun and a very, very fun person to be around. She seems that way in front of the camera. Hopefully, she's that way in real life. And we're excited about her hosting.
We'll find out someday, Dennis.
I know. Well, maybe. Maybe not. Who knows?
Probably not, yeah.
Probably not. Oh, Joseph. Can you hear that?
La 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 la. I can't hear it, dude.
Well, it's the band. They're playing us out. But we have a little time here at the end here. And it was fun. Did you have fun? Did you enjoy yourself a little, Joseph?
I had a great time. Thanks for having me on the show for the 19th time or 20th time.
My pleasure. I tell you what, why don't you come back next week for the 20th?
I'd appreciate that. I love that.
It's our 20th show.
Yeah.
It'll be exciting. It's always fun to talk about Saturday Night Live. We hope you enjoyed thinking about Saturday Night Live with us. Please let us know your thoughts. We want to know what you think of the show. We want to know what you think of each show. Comment. We would love to talk about the show. So if you think this is the worst podcast you've ever heard, or you think it's a pretty good podcast, or it needs a lot of work, let us know. That's okay with us. We ain't too proud to beg.
It turns us on.
Well, it turns Joseph on. So if you yell at us, make sure it's addressed to Joseph. I take constructive criticism better. But anyway, we look forward to another fine episode of Saturday Night Review really soon. But until that moment in time, he's still Joseph.
And his love handle is Denis.
And we are out of here. Emma Stone. Just look into those eyes, man. You ever looked into her eyes?
I I find her to be very, very unattractive.
How dare you!